Hi everyone and welcome to Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and it is a match reaction here as the Rangers beat Aberdeen after extra time 2-1. I am joined by, and I did promise, Scott Gemmell. The two lads, Carney and Ryan, are not here. The man flu has taken him, but it is in me and Scott today. Scott, how are you?
Aye, pretty good. Came away from a win, so aye, very happy afterwards, I suppose.
Yeah, the team was as expected. What we thought, well, I wouldn't say as expected. The Morelos was in the goalkeeping situation. McGregor came back in, which we thought was speaking to a lot of boys in the pub was a bit weird. We thought McLaughlin would play. Scotia surprises in the team lineup. McGregor.
The goalkeeper position, yeah, that was the biggest surprise for me. But everyone else kind of picked themselves, I thought. But it's interesting to see what's going to be happening with the goalkeeping situation. Obviously, we've got a game midweek and then a game on Saturday as well, so we'll see how that goes going forward.
Yeah, it was interesting. The lineup in terms of the outfield players, in terms of not McGregor, was not a surprise. That's what we thought it was. McGregor was a surprise. We thought McLaughlin would play today as the cup keeper. It's interesting that McGregor was in, and again, it's interesting going forward because he did say McCrory would get game time, so we'll see what happened. But into the game, Scotia. We'll first start at the Hampden pitch. It wasn't great, was it? I know you're a Scotland fan. You're there quite a lot of times with Hampden, but Celtic played on it yesterday with Kilmarnock, and today it looked like a ploughed field, didn't it?
I mean, it was pretty horrendous weather yesterday. At least it was dry today, but it didn't look great. And you have to think that pitch isn't getting played on anymore because Queen's Park are obviously playing at Lesser Hampden these days. So it's a wee bit surprising that it can get into that state when it's meant to be our national stadium. It can be a wee bit embarrassing at times.
Yeah, it's like Scotia says, Queen's Park don't play in that park anymore. It's your main event. You're the League Cup and the Scottish Cup in terms of the Scottish calendar, and it's poor to have a park like that. Today it was like a ploughed field. It was hard playing the ball across the park. Scotia, Rangers the first half, it wasn't great, for being honest. There was no link-up play really. It was a bit disjointed. Aberdeen weren't great. I would say the first 30 minutes we controlled the game without really doing anything, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought Rangers started okayish, but then we fell right away from it, and Aberdeen just started getting these second balls all the time, and it felt terrible. You know the way it is at Hampden in a cup. I know, but you know that way you've got about 6 people sitting in the one seat. That it's absolutely great when you're all trying to see from the same position. But I thought we started okay, but then we fell away. Aberdeen kind of grew into the game a bit more, but without doing overly much, I didn't think, in that first half.
Yeah, I don't think with it. Both goalkeepers really went worked. And 41st minute is a ball over the top. Barisic fails to deal with it. Comes across Davies. I don't know what he's doing. McGregor again, no man's land in Scotia. Aberdeen put the ball in the back of the net. It's 1-0 Aberdeen. It flattered them, to be honest, but they were 1-0 up against us, and we looked at each other and thought, not again.
No, indeed. Like I was saying, because it was really difficult to see you because there were so many people standing where you meant to be standing. But at first I thought it was McGregor. I thought an awful lot of McGregor's fault, but then we've obviously watched it back on the way back along the road there, and then Borna does not do well, Davies does not do well, and then McGregor again, he's too slow to kind of. I thought he could have come out and got it. Watching it back, I was maybe being a wee bit harsh on him at the time, but for me, if that was McLaughlin, and I think McLaughlin's coming to kind of deal with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it rolls into half time, and I look to Scotia and I go, not again, because me and Scotia, as I've said, have a horrific record at Hampden.
We must have done
it was flashbacks to that again, and we thought, surely that we can't be any worse. They come out the second half, Scotia. I thought we came out and we played well, Rangers, the second half. I thought we tried to bring it to Aberdeen. There were certain players we'll come on to that I thought played well, but what was your initial reactions in the first kind of 10 minutes of the second half?
I thought we started, again, controlling the game fairly comfortably. I thought Jack made a big difference in the second half.
Yeah.
It was interesting in the first half, he was playing at left back an awful lot of the time in the first half. Where you've seen him, like, why is he playing there? I said this last time, I don't like him playing on the left hand side, but I thought he grew into the game again in the second half, once again similar to what he done last week. But I thought, no, we were sort of starting to control it. There were still a few players that, for me, they've not managed to kick on this season. Lundstrom and Tav being sort of the two biggest culprits, I would say, in that regard.
Yeah, I thought John Lundstrom was poor. I thought his distribution was poor. The pitch didn't help. Like I say, it was like a ploughed field today. Playing a ball across the park wasn't great because it was bobbling all the time. But 61st minute, Scotia, Carney's man Ryan Jack links up with a 1-2.
Carney's man, my man.
Sorry, your man links
our
up.
Our man.
Links up with a 1-2 off Fred Morelos, edge of the box, come back to him, and just kind of passes the ball in the back of the net. And Rangers are back level. Yeah,
no, it was a good goal by Jack again. Doing well. He was the one sort of driving forward, trying to make things happen. And I thought he linked up well with Alfie again. He wasn't great in that first half, was he? But he done well to lay it off to Jack, and it was a decent goal. Maybe took a wee bit of deflection, I think, when we've watched it back, but still, that's us back in the game. And then you lifted me up, done the wee Titanic thing.
I did. I lifted him up. I lifted him up in the air there. I was hoping Rangers would get a second one to that, but yeah, 1 each. I thought 61 minutes, we've got a chance here. We were in the ascendancy, but after that, we were the better team without really doing anything. Both goalkeepers, if we're being honest, in the 90 minutes, didn't have much to do. I don't think the pitch helped, but it was a bit of a flat game.
Yeah, I think McGregor probably had more to do, actually. If you look at the goalkeepers, certainly from what I can remember just off the top of my head here and now, it wasn't a classic, shall we say.
No.
It was Kenny. It was bloody freezing, absolutely knackered after it. But,
yeah, and just before full time, the man who I mentioned in our preview, Anthony Stewart, I think his name was, the captain of Aberdeen, rush of blood to the head, went through Fashion Sakala, who was going absolutely nowhere. Red card, and Scotia. It was I've looked at it back, and I would say it's in that amber area, but yes, it is a red card.
It's a rash challenge by the boy. I don't know what he was thinking, considering when Aberdeen are potentially taking any extra time at 1 each time with the 11 men on the pitch. It was a wee bit of rush of blood to the head. I just wish it was against Alfie had done it, because obviously he came out in the press and saying that I prefer Cholak as a striker, but it's good to see that.
Yeah, another bit of Scottish football which we didn't actually say. VAR at one point
broke.
Yes. What was the goal? Referee today.
Nick Walsh.
Nick Walsh ran down the tunnel at one point. What's he up to? He came back out over the tannoy. VAR is not working, which I thought, that's probably good for us at that point. Later on it started working, which sums up Scottish football. That's an utter farce, to be honest. But yeah, it went to extra time, Scotia, and we both looked at each other and the guys around us and we went, we need to win this in the 30, because if this goes to penalties, I can't see us winning that.
It had those vibes to it. It was similar to like Eintracht Frankfurt, wasn't it, really? In terms of those vibes, that if we don't manage to win it in the 120 minutes, then it's a long, big ask, particularly when they go down to 10 men, because I always find that when you go down to 10 men, it kind of gets you a wee bit of wind up your sails when you're going into penalties and things like that. But Kamar Roof done, Scott Wright actually as well, done fantastically. He came on, thought he impressed when he came on, Scott Wright. I know it's a wee bit of stick from an awful lot of us Rangers fans, but he can be effective at times, and I thought he done well to cut that across for Roof.
Yeah, so a few substitutions were made during the game. Scott Arfield come on, Adam Devine, Scott Wright, as you said, Kamara come on. We'll come on to Kamara and Kamara come on, and 94 minutes on the clock in extra time. Scott Wright does brilliantly, turns his boy, whips a ball across this Kamara, Scotia, and slots the ball away. And that's what Kamara's there for. He's a penalty box striker, and he puts the ball away and Rangers 2-1 up.
I know, it was a good wee finish by Roof, and he was the one person that you were hoping that he would end up doing something. We'll probably get on to what happens a few, maybe 10-15 minutes later, but I know it was good to see Roof getting on the score sheet.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Rangers go 2-1 up. That usually doesn't happen at Hampden, and I did lift Scotia up at that point, but yeah, after that I thought Rangers controlled the game, to be honest. They do have these moments, but later on Kamar Roof goes in for a challenge. I think it's his shoulder, Scotia, it looks like, and he carried off again. This boy has absolutely zero luck in football.
Made of glass, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's a shame to see that, because obviously that's him just 2 games back in,
Yeah,
and he's
that's
under.
that.
And we were joking about it as well, and you know that way you were joking about it, hoping it wouldn't happen, but unfortunately it does. And I mean, we constantly say there's a reason that he's at Rangers, and it's because of this, the injury record that he's got. It's no great, because he could have been an important player for the next, the cup games that we've got coming up, and as well in the league for the rest of the season. You were hoping to see a wee bit of him, because obviously Colak's still not kind of fully up to match sharpness either. So that striking position now is looking a wee bit interesting in terms of, should we look to get someone in this window?
Yeah, I said to Scotia coming down the road there, well, I did say in one of our podcasts we're alright because we've got Morelos, Colak and Kamaru, but after watching Morelos today, who I thought he was poor today, we need to go into the market and get a striker in January, we really do, because Kamaru, to me, I don't know what he's done with his shoulder, but it looks like he's going to be out.
Looks like a dislocation.
Yeah, it looked a bad one for him. It's unfortunate again. We try and play it out. We've done well. We kept the ball, Scotia, and in the last minute of the game, we do what Rangers always do: try and throw it away. Aberdeen got the park, nearly scored. McGregor does well, and we see it out, and it is a 2-1 Rangers. And it's a rare event that me and Scotia sit together and see Rangers win it handily. I know it was after extra time, but 2-1 Rangers after extra time. Scotia, your thoughts?
Well, that's the main thing. We're through to the final.
Exactly.
That's all that you can really ask for. It wasn't a classic game, but we're through to the final, so at least we've got a chance for some silverware, at least as a minimum this season.
Yeah, no, it was, and we'd like to we met John on the way down the road. He's away home tonight, so he's going to listen to us. Sorry, John.
He was playing very deep in the first half, and for me it was him that kind of drove us forwards in the second half. And it was really good. A wee special mention as well. Thought Ryan Kent had a fairly decent game. The pitch, though, you could see that the point of the pitch doesn't help
ball players.
There was one point that he was running forward with the ball, and the ball he done almost a Sakala-esque thing, that he ran and the ball stayed because the pitch was that bad.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with Scotia. Took the words in my mouth. I thought Ryan Jack was brilliant. I thought he drove that Rangers team in the second half. Yeah, Ryan Jack got us that win today. I thought Ryan Kent all over the park. I thought he tried and tried. The park does not help Ryan Kent because he's a ball player. It was like a ploughed field. It's an embarrassment as our national stadium, that football park. But we are there. We are in the final. We will meet Celtic on I think it's the 26th or something of February. At the end of February we meet them. But yeah, the main thing is we are there. So I would like to say to Scotia, thank you very much for coming on.
Cheers, and I hope Ryan and Carney start feeling better. I know they weren't feeling great today, so hopefully those boys start feeling a wee bit better, and Rangers maybe lifted their spirits a wee bit.
Exactly, they probably brought you down quite a lot, but they've brought you up a wee bit, but that's what Rangers do for you. So yes, thanks to everyone for listening. Thanks to Rangers for finally getting into a final. Thanks for Scotia for appearing on a podcast. We have been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and we'll be back on Tuesday with a Club Deck Corner. Thank you.